Hey guys, today on People Now, Alex Trebek wrapping up Jeopardy's 35th season with a health update for fans.
Abby Lee Miller getting real about her spinal surgery, posting a raw photo of the scar. We'll tell you what she revealed.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen fans, get ready. Hulu is tapping into that 90s nostalgia, streaming a slew of their old movies.
Blue Blood star Bridget Moynahan is talking shoes, shoes, shoes.
It's almost like having our daughter around again.
Scandal star Tony Goldwyn is here with details of what is in store in his eerie new show.
It's live today on People Now.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Good
You're
to
back.
see you. Woo!
Feeling good.
Sickness has subsided, and what a day to be back. By the way, there is such a buzz in the control room and around the building because Tony Goldwyn is here.
Oh, yeah.
We hear he's
looking good.
Apparently very dreamy and knows how to wear a suit, I think was the quote. I don't know.
That's what they're saying.
I've never heard that kind of compliment around here. Anyway, whatever. There's a lot to get to. Starting with one hilarious story today, bound to make Will Smith fans love him even more. You might have heard he's playing the genie in the upcoming Aladdin live-action movie. We've all been talking about this. His character's interesting appearance sparking some memes across the internet. Turns out he isn't mad about it at all.
Not. Will revealed in a new interview with Empire that he thinks the reaction to his blue skin character is actually very funny. Glad he can get on board with the world of Twitter humor, right? They can be really harsh sometimes.
You gotta jump on board and just roll with it.
Yeah. Well, we want to know what you think about the mixed reviews against Will Smith's genie. Do you think it's hilarious as well, or should the trolls just leave poor Will alone? Vote in our People poll or just tweet us your answer with the hashtag #PeopleNow.
I will say that last trailer really saved it for me. I think it looked great.
I think it's fine.
We'll talk about
it's funny, it's great.
We'll break more of that down and check in on the results of what you think a little later, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. We start off with some encouraging news. Alex Trebek is feeling good as he wraps Jeopardy's 35th season. The 78-year-old Emmy-winning host opening up about his cancer treatment and thanking fans for their support in a video posted to the beloved game show's official Twitter account. Watch.
I wanted once again to thank you for your continuing messages of encouragement and support, particularly the many cards I've received from young people. I'm touched beyond words. Despite what you may have heard, I'm feeling good. I'm continuing with my therapy, and by we, the staff, is already working on our next season.
Yeah, and he's looking great, and his message came as he filmed the final day on set of Jeopardy's 35th season. Trebek has hosted the show since it first premiered in syndication back in September of 1984. Alex Trebek first revealed his stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis on March 6th. He's vowed to courageously fight the disease while continuing to host the long-running game show. Despite the grave diagnosis, Trebek joked at the time that he must continue working because of the terms of his contract through the 2021-22 season. Just 6 days later, Trebek was back to work. A rep confirmed that to People. He's kept up with his filming obligations ever since, and we wish him the best. Abby Lee Miller is opening up about the emergency spinal surgery she had back in 2018 and all the health battles that she's faced so far. On Wednesday, Miller shared a lengthy and deeply personal post on her Instagram paired with a raw photo of her spinal surgery scar. She explains that she underwent emergency surgery 1 year ago for an infection in her spine, which turned out to be Burkitt lymphoma. Afterward, she says she endured 10 rounds of chemo and another surgery. She adds, quote, "I struggled through months of physical therapy to learn to sit up again, to crawl, and maybe with a miracle someday, I'll walk." The post continued with Miller asking why the ER doctors did not do their job. She wrote, quote, "I came in twice with the same symptoms. Why didn't somebody listen to me, the patient? I finally found the right team. That's why I live to tell my story. I have a lot to say. Thank you to all wonderful, top-notch professionals who continue to help me heal. For those who missed it, misdiagnosed me, and the so-called federal doctor who took me off medication cold turkey, and the other ER Dr. Hollywood who told me to go home and take it easy for 10 days. Stop practicing." Strong words from her. Miller opened up about her health battles in February's trailer for the upcoming season of Dance Moms. She's seen fighting back tears, being taken into an ambulance, and here's a quick look at that.
Abby has the tools. It's about determination, it's about grit, it's about controlling your destiny.
I need to get back to teaching, and I need to get back to screaming at children. I need to get back to my roots. I'm gonna take these kids right back to Pittsburgh.
Now, guys, in April of 2018, one day after undergoing that emergency spinal surgery, Miller was preliminarily diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Since then, she's been receiving chemotherapy and documenting every part of her journey via social media. She left rehab in September of 2018. Now, before Miller's health battles, she had been living in a halfway house since serving her 366-day sentence for bankruptcy fraud. She was released from prison in March of 2018, then left that halfway house in May. All right, we move on to this. A New Jersey man is under arrest after trying to enter St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City Wednesday night with 2 cans of gasoline, lighter fluid, and butane lighters. The NYPD tweeted out this picture while confirming the arrest. NYPD also told reporters that as the unidentified man entered the cathedral, he was confronted by a security officer who informed him that he could not go on carrying these items. And at this point, the suspect turned around, but not before spilling some gasoline on the floor. Security then notified counterterrorism officers who arrested the suspect after questioning. John Miller, the NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, told reporters that the suspect's behavior seemed suspicious. Watch.
It's hard to say exactly what his intentions were, but I think the totality of circumstances of an individual walking into an iconic location like St. Patrick's Cathedral, carrying over 4 gallons of gasoline, 2 bottles of lighter fluid, and lighters, is something that we would have great concern over. I think this is an indicator of something that would be very suspicious.
Miller also revealed that the suspect pulled up in a minivan outside the landmark, walked around the area, then returned to retrieve the gasoline and lighter fluid. The suspect told police that his car ran out of gas and he was taking a shortcut through the cathedral, but when police checked his car, it was not out of gas. St. Patrick's Cathedral was built in 1878. It has a sprinkler-like system installed in case of fire. Its wooden roof is also coated with fire retardant. This comes just days, of course, after flames ravaged the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. French President Emmanuel Macron has promised to rebuild Notre Dame following the fire, which destroyed the landmark's iconic spire and roof. As of Wednesday morning, nearly $1 billion, maybe a little over at this point, had been raised for what is sure to be a massive rebuilding effort there. All right, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa Rinna clapping back against the haters. I love this story. Rinna got some criticism for attending Coachella last weekend and spoke out against the negative comments in a Watch What Happens Live appearance on Tuesday night. Here is what went down. Rinna referenced an Instagram comment on this pic that called her and her pals Kyle Richards and Teddy Mellencamp too old to attend the annual music festival. She said, "I got paid to go for Amazon. I'm usually there, but I got a check, honey. I made serious bank by going." She then turned to the camera and said, "Bleep you guys, I made serious bank. Bleep the trolls." I love her response. Talk about a bit of a mic drop moment there. Rinna also went on to point out that she's been going to Coachella for 6 years with her 2 daughters, who are now 17 and 20 years old. I mean, getting paid to go to that music festival is pretty epic. Sounds like people are just jealous of her, if you ask me. You can stick around, guys. Even more Real Housewives coming up. We're breaking down all of this week's Bravo drama in our Housewives recap. That's a little later in the show.
Also, I have to say, she looks hot.
No, absolutely.
She looks so good on Watch What Happens Live and on that car. Like, she looks amazing.
Doesn't even have to say anything.
No,
it's just
I know.
like, wow. Like, take a look there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have more for us in Star Treks.
Yes, I do. We are kicking off Star Treks with the bathroom sink explanation we've all been waiting for. Kim Kardashian West posted a series of videos on her Instagram story on Wednesday night to give her fans an all-access tour of the bathroom that left people pretty confused after it was featured on Kim's Vogue 73 Questions video. She started the video series by showing off her unique sinks that appear to have no basins. So you might be wondering, where does the water go? Kim explained.
8 versions of this prototype sink was made, and it does actually like slightly slope down that you can kind of see. And there's a slit for the water, and it goes in. You can put it on as high pressure as you want and no backsplash.
I'm actually really obsessed with that. That's really cool. Kim also made sure to show off her interesting light switches. So those are light switches right there, you guys. Instead of a typical switch with a wall plate, they feature 3 tiny buttons to control the lights with 3 settings: off, on, and dim. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've also never been in the Kardashians' house, so.
Yeah, who wants the old regular switch when you can
Right?
do
I think
that,
it's kind of cool.
guess?
Anyway, move on to this. Jessica Simpson's hubby is one hot dad. Jessica posted this photo of her husband, Eric Johnson, on Instagram on Wednesday. We gotta say, we agree with her caption. The former football player was looking sharp in a suit while holding their newborn baby, Birdie, with a chic Fendi blanket covering her carrier. riding in style there. They've been married 5 years, have 3 kids total, but the spark is clearly still alive. She can't help but gush over her man. We love it. Birdie joined the family on March 19th. Between her 6-year-old daughter Maxwell and 5-year-old son Ace, that's a party of 5 right there. In October, Jessica told People that the questions she got from her kids about her pregnancy were pretty hilarious, like how milk comes out of mommy, and if her belly button was a speaker to communicate with the baby. That's actually pretty clever.
That's thoughtful, yeah.
Yeah. Now, during her pregnancy, Jessica had been very open on social media about several health problems that she experienced, including severe acid reflux, a month of sciatica pain, and an extremely swollen foot. She even had recurring bronchitis. Yikes. Now she's continuing her recovery from a C-section, calling it no joke. But luckily, her husband and kids have been there to lend a hand. A close friend of Jessica's recently told People that Ace and Maxwell can't get enough of the baby, and that everyone is very happy. Glad to hear that. Well, Bachelor alum Nick Viall is kissing and telling. On Monday's episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast, which funny name there, Nick opened up about a recent steamy makeout sesh with a man. Nick said making out with his first guy was fun, adding, I was a little bit nervous. Nick also dished there was some tongue involved, hot and heavy.
Oh.
Okay, but let's not get too excited. He's currently working on a show for Funny or Die. I actually know from Nick that it was for that show. All right, but he knows what he says.
Not quite as dramatic as it seems.
Not as scandalous as we first thought.
It was for a role, guys. Come on.
It was. Also, the comments were taken a bit out of context, edited in the podcast. There you go. But to add to all of that, the former Bachelor revealed he is still a Bachelor. He's in no rush to meet someone, but is still hopeful that if someone is out there, I do believe Nick wants to settle down, but it's really hard out there, you guys. Nick was previously engaged to Vanessa Grimaldi, who took home the final rose on his season of The Bachelor in 2017. Vanessa has since moved on with businessman Josh Wolf. When asked about their new relationship, Nick simply said, I heard through the grapevine, but we don't have any contact, but I think that's great. I wish her the best. So no hard feelings there. In fact, Nick even poked some fun at himself on Valentine's Day via Instagram. He did an updated version of Bob Ross, standing shirtless with a canvas and paint, joking, for all you lovers out there, congratulations, you can suck it. For all the people who are alone, like myself, I thought we would do a happy little painting because why not? Look, Nick knows what he's doing with the shirtless Bob Ross video.
By the way, he actually does a really good job with the painting.
He's a really good painter.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's legitimately.
No, I follow him on Instagram, and I'm always really impressed by that.
No, I saw this too.
speed of
And
version.
I truly watched to the end just to see how well the painting turned out, and it was pretty good.
I don't know if he has to be shirtless to do these paintings,
Of course he doesn't.
but
No, he does not.
I think people like it. All right, those are your Star Treks for today.
Stick around, guys. All right, there he goes. Just trust us. Good at his Instagram. Looks great. Stay with us. We'll be joined live by Tony Goldwyn. We're getting the lowdown on his new Netflix show, Chambers. And, you know, we're throwing back Thursday in a little bit with a little talk of scandal as well. Plus, Bridget Moynahan has a brand new book about shoes. She's telling us about that and the time Barbara Bush once loaned her a pair of shoes. That's all coming up in a little bit.
Okay, guys, we've been asking what you think about the backlash regarding Will Smith's Genie character and his appearance on the upcoming Aladdin movie. Let's check in on our polls so far. Leave Genie alone, but not by much.
Yeah, this shows how people are torn. The nation is torn.
Yeah.
About Will Smith as the Genie. Keep voting in our People poll if you want to turn the tide. Every vote counts. Now let's move on to this.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are back.
That's right. Get ready for some 90s nostalgia.
Yes.
So according to Elite Daily, Hulu is bringing back a few iconic Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movies like Billboard Dad, Passport to Paris, and Switching Goals.
So in Billboard Dad, the twins play matchmakers for their widowed father by putting up a personal ad on a billboard, as you do.
Yeah, in Passport to Paris, they star as two sisters visiting their diplomat grandfather in Paris. That was one of my favorites, honestly.
Go global here. In Switching Goals, they give us the classic twin switch, swapping identities in a comedy about rival soccer teams. All this streaming starts May 1st. The only thing I keep thinking is they get even more money in residuals,
I
right?
mean,
Just keep
I grew
pouring in
up
for
on these
them.
movies, so I'm obsessed that they're coming back. The Olsen twins officially retired from acting in 2012, have kept a low profile since, focusing on their fashion empire.
In an interview with the Wall Street Journal magazine last year, they opened up about their relationship as twin sisters and business partners and gave a little insight into the reasons behind how private they are. Ashley said this, quote, I don't know if it's because of the way we grew up. We just don't like talking about ourselves or talking about what we're doing.
Now, fans won't be seeing them on screen or in any new movies or series. We all remember when they famously refused to join the Tanner family reunion on Fuller House, which was a huge, huge bummer.
Broke our hearts.
But it's nice to take a walk down memory lane with the movies on Hulu.
Honestly, it's remarkable that they've been able to maintain their privacy in 2019 with social media everywhere.
It shows they're a lot cooler than most people out there, right?
It's like, been there, done that, and we really don't want it
If
anymore.
they ever made a comeback and did a series or a movie, people would go crazy.
Yeah.
I wish they would, but I mean, at least we can watch this on Hulu.
Ladies, do it.
Legendary animator and visionary director Terry Gilliam is the latest celeb to swing by couch surfing and take a look back at some of his most beloved films. One of those including the mind-blowing sci-fi movie 12 Monkeys starring Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Gilliam really challenged these two into this film, and he tells couchsurfing host Lola Oganaike exactly how he did it. Watch this.
Basically, I cast Bruce and Brad completely opposite of what they normally did.
That's right.
You know, Bruce was always a motor mouth, bang, you know, his die-hard days, and Brad was always very, very laconic. But Brad worked his ass off to learn to speak fast. And the day he arrived is this day. This was his first day of filming. He just exploded on the set.
Whoa.
And Bruce was suddenly, you know, his words were taken it, so he had to act without a motor mouth. And I just said, Bruce, I don't want Bruce Willis, the movie star, the action hero. I want Bruce Willis, the actor, and I want you naked, basically, coming without your entourage, nothing. And he did, well, his version of it.
What was his version like?
Well, he did have his security guy. He
Okay.
did have his dietitian. He had the truck with all the exercise equipment and all that. But in Bruce Willis down, that was coming naked, basically.
Man, I love getting his take on that iconic film. That's incredible.
I know, it's really cool to hear. Now, Gilliam also tells Lola a very touching story about Heath Ledger and how his new film, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, is finally reaching screens after 30 years.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this one. You can catch this episode on PeopleTV this Friday.
Thank you for helping Sasha with everything. It means a lot to us.
I owe you the bigger thanks for letting her be a part of our life. With Sasha around, it's almost like having our daughter around again.
That's a clip from the upcoming Netflix show Chambers. Tony Goldwyn stars in this eerie new series. He's here with us live. Hello, Tony.
Hi, guys.
Great to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here. So much to talk to, doing Broadway, but doing this show. Let's start here. This kind of sinister plot, right? This girl gets a heart transplant, starts to embody some of the characteristics of the donor. It gets creepy. You've said there's something here for everyone. How so, in terms of genre, themes?
Well, you know, Chambers seems like a genre piece, but at the center of it is really both like a family drama, a high school coming of age story, a supernatural thriller. It deals with, you know, ethnic and socioeconomic diversity issues. You know, our protagonist is a Native American girl. I think the first Native American female lead of a series ever, it kind of checks a lot of boxes. And I've been a part of a few projects over the years where, when I read it, I thought, satisfies so many different appetites in terms of a piece of entertainment. And I really felt that way about Chambers when I read it. It was really smart and yet super entertaining and creepy and scary, but you're not sure.
Yeah.
Is what's going on real or is it supernatural? And you don't know for quite some time.
And such a great cast. Uma Thurman plays your wife in the show. I mean, what was it like working alongside such a queen?
It was great. Uma and I had been friends and had actually worked together some years ago. So I was, you know, it was really fun to work together. We play grieving parents in this because we've lost, our daughter is the heart donor to Sasha's character, the young woman who receives this heart. And we want a relationship with her, which is weird.
Right, just
you know, to begin with.
At his face, right.
So Uma and I were both kind of going through it as parents ourselves,
Yeah.
having to deal with the loss of a daughter. So it was really nice to have a friend who we could kind of lean on each other. Sure. It's not pleasant to go there as an actor.
And probably bonding with her about kids. I mean, what kind of a mom is Uma? Is she like a worrier? She laid back?
I'm not sure, actually. I think she's an incredible mom. Her kids are amazing and accomplished and brilliant, but a range in age. You know, her adult kids are thriving, and she has this most beautiful young daughter, who I don't know. She's just a great parent, and she's a good role model.
Yeah.
Are you a stressed out dad or are you a chill?
No, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, you seem chill.
Yeah,
I'm
gotta
pretty
take
chill.
it easy.
Yeah.
Fun dad. Let's go have some ice cream.
Fun dad. Yeah, we go to Coachella together.
There you go. Let's talk about this. You're also on Broadway, starring in Network alongside Bryan Cranston.
Right.
We were talking about this, the rigors of it, right? Like the day in, day out, but a dream as an actor. Talk to me about what you love about that and working with Bryan Cranston. He's obviously done some other Broadway stuff as well, so familiar territory for him.
Yeah,
too.
Brian's last Broadway show, he won a Tony Award for playing Lyndon Johnson. Brian and I were old friends, like we met 20 years ago, and he's just he's one of our greatest actors, and I've been so thrilled for his, success and seeing all the amazing work he's done. So it's thrilling to be able to both be with an old friend and to work on stage with an actor as brilliant and inspiring as him. Network's an incredible production. If people can come see this, it's based on the 1976 film written by the great Paddy Chayefsky, who won an Oscar for it. The great Sidney Lumet directed it, but this is a complete different animal, even though it's faithful to the Chayefsky script. This Belgian director named Ivo van Hove, who is a sort of world famous, visionary theatrical director, has kind of reinterpreted Network, and it feels so relevant to the time we're living in today. It's a satire of the media and where media has gone, and it's both really entertaining and chilling and emotional.
It's so chilling. I saw it. It was so good. I laughed being like, what did I just see?
By the way,
it's crazy.
I was going to mention this. I've interviewed Cranston a couple times. He seems like such a fun guy, and I can imagine the two of you having some fun offset when things aren't so intense. What's that look like?
Brian is, I honestly, when we met 20 whatever years ago, I thought this may be the funniest man I've ever met.
Hilarious, right? Yeah.
Like, he's just got this insane, eccentric sense of humor, which is an extension of his brilliant mind as an artist. If you think of like the character Brian played in Malcolm in the Middle, when that blew up, and that was like a year or two after we'd worked together, I was like, finally, like, see, that's
people see it. Yeah,
Like, it was so crazy what he did, and so working with him is like that. He's just such an extraordinary, dramatic actor, and then all of a sudden, he'll do or say something or do some weird impression of someone that's dead on.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious.
Because doesn't
really
he? I heard something that he likes to point out what celebrities are in the audience.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Every night. Like, I prefer not to know who's in the audience because that's just I'm very distractible. And it's one less thing I need to be distracted by to find out what famous person is sitting in the audience judging me. But
I feel like I'd be the same way.
But Brian's like, I don't care. I want to know.
Yeah.
So at the curtain call every night, Tatiana Maslany, who's also co-starring with us, and the three of us come up for our bow, and as we're walking forward, he's like, well, yesterday afternoon it was like, Cher's in the third row,
Or as the bow's happening, right?
Yeah, as it's happening, or some famous person, he'll tell who is in.
Was there anyone that showed up that made you really nervous in the audience?
No one. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I've been
Was
doing
a
this a
favorite
while, so
that showed up recently?
Well, the funny one was Cher.
Right, that's pretty
because she's Cher,
Yeah.
right? So she was supposed to come the other night, and everyone was like, Cher's in the thing. And so, of course, in the middle of the show, I'm like, why did I need to know that? I don't need to be thinking about Cher in the audience.
Yeah.
So then at the end, the curtain call, Brian's like, Cher was supposed to be here, but she didn't make it. I was like, okay. So then she came yesterday afternoon to the matinee, and I didn't find out till like we were almost done with the show. But there's TV monitors everywhere in this because it's all about screens, and so I caught on the TV monitor one flash of the audience.
And there she was.
And I was like, boom! There, you can't miss.
Yeah.
Cher, so that was cool.
That's really cool. Let's talk about this. Your former Scandal co-star, Kerry Washington, also on Broadway, kind of wrapping up the show, American Son. Talk to me about just kind of you guys seeing each other's shows, swapping notes about the Broadway experience, anything like that?
Yeah, we did see each other's shows. I went to her opening, and she, on her one day off, came to see mine, and it was thrilling. And so the last time Kerry and I were each on Broadway, we were on Broadway at the same time in different shows right before Scandal. It was the last job that each of us did before Scandal. I was in a musical called Promises, Promises, and she was in a David Mamet play called Race. And so now, as soon as Scandal was, we were both back on Broadway. So that was
It's a cool full circle there.
Hey, here's a question for you. Shonda Rhimes has said that there would not be revivals or spinoffs of Scandal, but it kind of hurts the fans to know that. What's your response to that? Is it kind of like, Okay, it is where it is in the past, or if something would come around, would you be on board for that?
If that is Shonda's, if Shonda says that, whatever Shonda says goes in my book. So I would believe it. Would I be open to it if there was some version? Yeah, sure. We could do like a Radio City Music Hall musical version of Scandal. We could
Makes
do a tour
perfect
like High
sense.
School Musical. I think,
Yeah, blend the worlds.
Absolutely.
But if you're thinking about it, I mean, where your Scandal characters would be if it went forward, where do you envision your character being? Maybe are Olivia and Fitz finally making jam, living a happy family life?
Yeah, I think there's a good reason it ended when it ended.
It was the right spot.
Yeah, because I think that's sort of, I think that Olivia and Fitz got together, and I don't think Liv was having any of that Vermont jam. I think Olivia would spend about a weekend in Vermont and be like, I am so out of here. I need to be back in in the Red Hot Center.
Yeah. All right, let's do a little throwback Thursday. I think a lot of people forget that you voiced Tarzan.
I did, that's right.
20 years ago.
It was.
99,
Yeah.
right?
Now, recently there's been a lot of redos of classic Disney animated movies into live action. We know that Tarzan was done recently, but if it ever came back again, would you do a live action Tarzan? Because I feel like
Live action Tarzan?
You fit it.
You mean like in the loincloth?
Yes,
Right, like the whole deal.
absolutely.
Yeah, Tarzan as an older gentleman, a gentleman of a certain age, a live-action Tarzan. I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
If it's paying enough.
You got that,
Okay.
ladies in the
Yay,
control room? You got that?
there.
You got that, ladies? Okay, yes, he's
They're
willing.
very excited about that answer.
Yeah.
But it kind of brings us to, I mean, a lot of these Disney live action things. Will Smith, we were talking about earlier on the show, getting all these mixed reviews on his Genie. Have you been tracking along, saw his Genie? Have any thoughts on that?
I have nothing to say. I'm doing, Broadway.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
5 nights a week. So
few things going on. All right, can we do this? We're going to keep the interview rolling. A little game we like to call. Here's the title. Thank God it's Tony. Don't forget, Scandal was a major.
That's the title for everybody who does it?
That's for you.
person.
It was TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday with Shondaland. So now we're kind of adapting it. We're going to give you some things and see what you think. You can reveal a little bit about yourself. All right. Thank God it's Tony on the paddle, or thank God it's not
Yes.
me.
So we'll list a few
Okay.
scenarios.
This is for you.
All right. Oh, I just
Yes.
love this.
Yeah, you'll flip it.
I
If
flip
it's
it
you, it's
according-
thank God it's Tony. If it's not,
Okay.
it's thank God it's
So
not
we'll
me.
list
Here
a
we
few
go.
scenarios. If you identify with them, show us your thank God it's Tony. If
Got
you
it.
don't identify, then it's thank God it's not me.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. The keto diet.
I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
You would try
sounds
it.
good. I
You'd
would
be on board.
try
So
it.
you haven't done it yet. You haven't.
No, I
been
think
a part
I've
of the craze.
talked to people, and that sounds like a cool, healthy thing.
We're obsessed with it around
not
here.
sure I have the
and we
discipline.
Keep
but,
it tabs.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, next one. Responding to Instagram DMs. Nope, don't do it.
I get, yeah.
You
I
get
mean, I feel
nervous?
badly because some people who I would want to talk to DM me, but in our jobs, you get
kinda
a lot of people you just can't.
You can't do it. Helicopter parenting. Not you.
Nah,
You even said
not
earlier.
you.
Cool dad. Fun dad. Laid
Being
back.
a hopeless romantic.
Ooh. What's the most
Yeah.
romantic thing about you? What
sure.
would people say?
Oh, the most romantic thing about me, you'd have to ask my wife.
Okay.
You'd have to ask my wife.
We'll ask her. We'll ask her. All right.
I got nothing.
But we'll take it. We'll take it. We believe it. Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thank
Thanks.
you.
Everyone, be sure to watch Chambers on Netflix Friday, April 26th. Check it out.
All right, on to this. My guest co-host, Danya, and I sat down with actress and now author Bridget Moynahan. She talked about her new book, Our Shoes, Ourselves, and how footwear is more than just a style, it's also a memory.
So it's a collection of stories, 40 different women, 40 different pairs of shoes, and 40 different stories. I was cleaning out my closet and trying to get rid of all these shoes I never wear, but I hold on to them. And I kept pulling them out of the donation pile because, oh, I love this one, or I can't get rid of that. And I didn't understand why I was holding on to these things I never wear. So I called my writing partner and my friend Amanda Benchley, and I said, this is what I'm doing. What is this? Why am I holding on to these? And so we broke it down. It was all about memories. So we thought if I have, these memories and these attachments to shoes, then I bet you a lot of women do. I have these hiking boots that I wore when I was shooting a movie, Lord of War in Africa. And then my mother came over and we did a safari. So I still have those, even they're just caked with dirt, and I have never gotten rid of them. I've got high heels from Sex and the City. So those are some nice memories.
So interesting to think of shoes telling a story. The only shoes that I really care about that much. The ones I wore on Survivor.
Interesting.
And they were muddy.
Oh, that
and
makes
kind
a
of
lot of
have
sense.
those memories. I don't know.
I have emotional attachment to like T-shirts, but my wife tells me I'm going to be a hoarder, so I wish I could make a book out of it, right?
T-shirts. Anyway, enough about us. Some incredible women appear in this book. We've got actors, dancers, astronauts, politicians. One woman who really stood out to Bridget was former First Lady Barbara Bush.
Yeah, Bridget shares the First Lady's favorite pair of shoes and special memory where Barbara Bush and her shoes saved Bridget.
She loved Keds sneakers, and when she went into the White House, I guess they weren't really that popular at the time. So her husband made the point of getting a lot of Ked sneakers, and she was just kind of she had fun with it. So she would just put all the right ones in a pile and all the left ones in a pile, and then she would just pick out something, and a lot of times she would have mismatched shoes, and she just went along with it, and she just enjoyed people's reactions to it. It was a fun story, and you really got to see a little part of her personality. So I went up to their home in Maine one time, and my luggage was lost. So I ended up going up there and having nothing to wear. So her staff was kind enough to like lend me their jacket for dinner, but I borrowed some of her sneakers, and they were Ked sneakers, and they had little flowers on them, and it was just really sweet and adorable. So just the fact that she, you know, when I reached out to her, she first of all said yes right away, thought it was a great idea, and then she shared a story about the Keds, so it was really full circle.
Can you imagine a First Lady loading you a pair of Keds?
No.
Well, since Bridget wrote about shoes, we wanted to test her fancy footwork skills. Watch.
Okay, you wrote about shoes, so now we're going to test your knowledge in a game we like to call A Woman's Right to Shoes.
Okay.
Homage to Sex in the City.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to show you some famous feet, and you have to guess who they belong to. Are you ready?
Okay.
Whose feet are these?
I mean, it could be a Carrie Bradshaw, or it could be Kim Cattrall.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I was there.
the city. You knew that right away.
Well, she was apparently my nemesis.
Okay, whose shoes are these?
What are these heels telling you?
A professional.
Uh-huh.
She's on a very famous TV show. It's not on the air anymore.
I was gonna say Julian Margulies, but maybe that's not her.
Okay.
All right, let's see if you're right.
It's
Kerry Washington. Olivia Pope Scandal. All right, this one I think.
Dorothy?
Yeah. Judy
There you go.
from The Wizard of Oz. Last one. Who is
Those are my shoes.
That's too easy. Nice.
No, I touched it with my pinky.
I don't think they were even original letters.
That's what I'm saying.
They weren't original letters.
They weren't even Morgan letters.
I should just tell her that.
They didn't look real.
Just tell her that.
It's all
Your
good.
energy
We're
is
all
so
good.
good.
We're all
Hey,
good.
Sonia,
We're all good. We're all
but
good.
just so you
We're
know,
all good.
those
We're all
letters
good.
were not real letters. They just made them
Okay,
up.
good, good,
All right,
We're not even talking about it anymore.
Okay, I just wanted to know
I know.
real letters.
Just make it matters. Nothing matters. I know.
Oh man, we are about to discuss that moment and so much more from last night's Real Housewives of New York City. Plus, we are diving into the latest drama in Beverly Hills and part 2 of the Atlanta reunion.
And here to dish on everything from the chic to the bleak within the Real Housewives world are People's Housewives experts. News reporter Dave Quinn, and joining us from LA, People TV producer Sam Belikov.
Hey guys.
What's up, guys? All right, let's get into it. Sam, what was your take on how Sonia's meltdown was resolved and the rest of the Berkshires trip?
I'm still laughing from that clip. I mean, I just love that like Bethany and Sonia are okay, and then Ramona's like, I know, I'll tell her it's fake. I mean, it's just like, you know, God bless everyone there. I think they're just trying to help each other, and it's really nice that they're supporting Sonia. I did say last week, to be continued, Sonia's not going to go gently into that good night. I think she did go gently into the good night. It was resolved really quickly, and the rest of the Berkshires trip was, you know, pretty nice. They all just partied and had fun, and it was nice to see the women coming together.
Yeah, and Dave, back in New York, there was a surprising, kind of powerful scene. Tinsley tells Luann that Lou's alcoholism is triggering issues surrounding Tinsley's late father and his alcoholism. What do you make of all this?
Well, it's really interesting because we often hear about how alcoholism affects the person who's the alcoholic, but we don't often hear about how it affects the family members of, of alcoholics. And to hear her as the daughter of an alcoholic talk about the problems that she's been having was really fascinating and revealing for her. Like, we haven't seen this side of Tinsley before. We haven't seen her show compassion towards Luann in this way. It connected them, I think, in a really strong way, and it was powerful to see her recognize the disease that is alcohol.
Yeah,
Well, another big Tinsley moment happened during Bethany's dinner party. Tinsley broke down in a game of Truth or Dare after she was dared to call her boyfriend Scott. So Dave, what's your take on this one? What's she going through here?
Well, you know, we've seen this relationship from the beginning. They met on a blind date a couple of seasons ago, Tinsley's first season, season 9. And from then, you know, they've had this long distance relationship. It hasn't been easy. We actually now are hearing that according to Tinsley, he's been a little controlling. There's not a lot of trust there. He doesn't like the spotlight. And I think that's hard, you know. She's somebody who I believe wants to be in a relationship. She's spoken openly how she wants a family. She wants that next step. Her tagline, right, is game, set, now I'm looking for a match. Like, she's ready for that next step. And it just doesn't seem that Scott is going to be that guy.
Yeah, and Sam, what do you think? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with Dave. I think what's interesting is that Bethany at one point says, like, this is not going to be for you. And I think what she's tapping into is Tinsley is someone who really wants to be famous. And I don't say that negatively. I mean, like, people with all the big personalities in New York, we kind of forget that Tinsley, when she came onto this show, she was the most famous person ever to come onto the show. I mean, she was in Gossip Girl, referenced as herself. Being with someone who doesn't like the spotlight is not going to work out for her. It's honest, it's just not.
Yeah, it doesn't match up.
But she's torn because she loves him.
Yeah, it doesn't match up with everything we know. Another interesting moment amidst all the Tinsley drama that we have to dissect. Watch this.
Doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about it.
But then why are we all friends if we don't talk about it? I don't get it.
She doesn't want to be friends. Maybe that's what it is. No, Barbara, don't say that. Don't be an instigator. You're always an instigator.
She didn't say she'd want more to be friends. You always have to go there.
Stop being a busybody. Stop being a minute. Did you not ask me a question? Stop doing it.
Yeah, the pointing, the sort of pointing with the hands. Was Barbara being an interloper? Sam?
I think in this case, yes. I think that to say she doesn't want to be friends is a cardinal sin amongst the housewives. I mean, this is a show based upon people who are friends. So that's not just a simple comment. That's very provocative, as Sonia said. I agree. That being said, Dorinda is also an instigator. Earlier at this scene, she basically, out of nowhere, there was no discord, and she just says to Barbara, so how'd you like sleeping in my fish room? Which, like, they fought about days earlier. So it's like, you know, they're all, so maybe she does fit in, you know, because she is an instigator like the rest of them.
All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where a lot went down during what else but a dramatic dinner.
That's where it all goes down.
Earlier in the episode, Lisa Vanderpump didn't show up to Camille's wedding shower, and at the dinner, Camille told the other women that LVP said she wasn't actually invited to it. So Sam, what's your take here?
I mean, this is a tough one because we know Kyle said that she really did invite her. She sat at a place table. I don't think that she was lying. I think that she did, you know, text Lisa. Lisa on a blog somewhere said that she blocked Kyle's number, so maybe she actually didn't get the invite. So it's hard to say, it's hard to speculate. I will say though that if Lisa was actually invited and then told Camille she wasn't, I think that's not nice. Just come forward and say, I'm having a tough time with these ladies and I don't want to be put under fire with them. And I think Camille should have, you know, stood up as well and said, you know, I thought you were invited.
Yeah, let's talk about this. A more serious moment at the dinner, and kind of unique moment, is when Camille weighed in on the whole Brett Kavanaugh hearing that was going on at the time this episode was filmed. Watch this.
So I'm really impassioned about this, and I know what it feels like to be wrongfully accused and humiliated all over the world, the country, the world, for lies.
Camille comparing herself to Brett Kavanaugh is weird. I'm sorry. I mean, I know she has the up sense of herself, but it isn't about you, Camille. This is about a much bigger thing. He's gonna be a judge on our court for the rest of his life, and that is a very big thing.
Ladies were pretty subtle here about what they thought. Look, politics not often brought up on the show. What'd you make of this whole exchange?
Well, there's only probably one or two other times that this has happened. In the Real Housewives of New York during the election of Donald Trump, that was like a big topic. And New York's also tackled gay marriage before, but politics usually stays pretty far away from the Housewives. I loved seeing it, and I think that it's indicative of what was happening, right? It was September. It was like a huge time in our country. It was hard not to talk about it. It was also striking a chord in Lisa Rinna's own life. Her mother had been a victim of a sexual assault before, and she really felt like it was important to kind of bring that up.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to hear Camille's side of it. It was very different from the way everyone else felt, and I respect her for being honest about how she felt, even if I didn't personally agree.
Well, they're also always always looking for authentic passion and drama, and boy, what a way to bring it up. Talking about politics, Kyle Richards' sister Kim, who used to be a cast member, of course, ended up being at the same restaurant as all this was going down. Dave, were you happy to see her again? What'd you make of that?
I loved this moment. I was so happy to see her because nobody expected it. She was just like in the corner, and also it wasn't just her. Her sister Kathy was there too. So it was like the Richards sisters are all connected in some way that they all instinctively knew how to go to this restaurant. I loved it. I thought it made good drama. We're going to see Kim later on this season too, so it was good to see her back.
Yeah, Sam, what did you make of her and Lisa Rinna's interaction, or lack thereof?
I just want to say one thing first. I think this is the first time in Housewives history that we've gotten 4 Richards sisters in the room, because Denise Richards is actually a sister, and that's not something we talk about enough. We have 4 Richards on there. I'll say that, you know, you just saw in that clip the whole bunny thing from a few years ago. That was the last time Kim and Rinna saw each other, when Kim returned Rinna's bunny. So it's not surprising that they didn't run into each other. I'm excited to see the actual reunion. You know, when I see this, I just think of like a very hacky headline. It's like Rinna rejects Richards in return for Richards' rabbit return.
Yeah.
You know, that's what my mind goes to.
Hasn't thought into that one.
All right, real quickly, guys, we got to move on to part 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Dave, what was the biggest takeaway for you when this whole Nene's husband, Greg, he joined the ladies on the couch? Quite a moment.
Yeah, it was really intense. You know, Greg's been going through battling stage 4 colon cancer. It's been tough for him, and Nene's talked openly about how hard his attitude has been throughout that. The big revelation here was that she said she doesn't know whether they'll reconcile.
Yeah.
She feels that if he wasn't going through cancer, she would have divorced him.
Wow.
And that was pretty crazy to hear. You know, we'd never hear this side of things. You don't understand how hard cancer can be on the spouse of this person. It sounds like she said that they had major problems before he even was going through this treatment. So it's interesting. They're in counseling. We'll see and watch what happens to them.
Yeah, pretty serious stuff there. All right, let's take a look at this moment from later in the reunion.
Shamari needs help.
What about what the streets say about you? Nobody even knows who the hell you are. First off, you've been on this damn show for 6 seasons, and I can't tell you what the hell you do.
Girl, that look Claire's outfit, and Claire's don't even clothes.
Please. Not Claire. No, they clothes. This is House of Balenciaga. Google that.
I'm not going to argue with the alcoholic.
Marla.
I pray for you. I pray for you.
Marla.
Wow. So, Sam, Shamari was in the hot seat in this episode. What'd you make of it all?
I mean, in that clip, you know, I actually did Google House of Balenciaga, and it does look like a very nice brand. That being said, you shouldn't have to Google a brand. Like, you don't have to Google Versace. You don't have to Google Old Navy like I'm wearing. But Shamari did, you know, come off really actually positively. This is a great first reunion for her so far. I think that she was strong and when she needed to be, but she was also funny. I mean, bringing the gift card as a prop for the value of puking on Eva's shoes is like A-level Housewives. It really is. And as a Zara gift card, like a prop at a reunion is props to that.
All right, we're out of time, guys. Dave, Sam, thank you so much for breaking down all the drama with us. Sam, thanks for the Old Navy shout out. If you want to follow along, make sure to watch the final part of Atlanta's reunion Sunday at 8, Beverly Hills Tuesday at 9, New York City Wednesday at 9, all on Bravo.
All right, we're taking one last look at our People poll. We've been asking if you agree with the backlash Will Smith has been getting for his genie character in the upcoming Aladdin movie. Let's check in if it's switched here.
Still pretty tight.
Leave Genie alone. I agree. I completely agree.
Overall supporting, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty split. I wouldn't say overall.
The decision's the decision.
We'll be back with another question of the day tomorrow, so tune in for that.
Coming up tomorrow, Lonnie Love is here talking about her new boyfriend and her experience hosting Essence Fest.
Plus, Queen Elizabeth's birthday is this weekend. We'll find out how the royal family is celebrating with our Royals correspondent, Imogen Lloyd-Webber. All right, thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Lily Cooper. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Lily Cooper, and this is one last thing. The last show I binge watched was Love on Netflix.
Maybe we could pretend like nothing happened and see if anyone notices.
That's my whole philosophy in life.
So good and so sweet. The last song that was stuck in my head was Evergreen by Yebba. So good.
So will you wait for me?
My last big splurge was definitely on my dressing room. I bought a lot of pillows. Gotta be able to take a nap in between shows.